Give it a moment to sort some settings out. And hopefully for some people to get in the chat. Hope you like the microphone lanyard. It's a bit Heath Robinson, as we would say in the UK. Summer has arrived. Well, it arrived for me a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, not for the wife. She's not got it yet. Yeah, but if you're a Brit, which I am, anything above 20 degrees is summer. Spring is 12 to 14 degrees, but once you get past 20, summertime. Summer. Let's turn that around a bit. So, hey everybody, welcome. Where are you watching from? Where are you all? Ooh, that's a view you don't often want to see, or see at all. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm okay with my own skin. I've got plenty of it, luckily. So thought I'd jump on another live, random question and answer, talk about some stuff that I've got written down. Look, all of this stuff that we'll bounce through, answer anything that you want to know, maybe ish. Whether it's about moving to Russia, why you should, why would you want to, how to do it, misconceptions. Definitely want to cover that because there are a lot, especially at the moment. The Russia phobia at the moment is just it's just off the charts. It really is. It's probably at its worst, I would say, right now, and that's through fear. Simple as that. People are scared of the unknown, and they don't want to face the truth because all of a sudden the unknown smacks them in the face, and what they've believed to be true turns out not to be, and they just can't handle it. And that's a basic human reaction, really. Most people are scared of the truth. You know, it's quite terrifying. It's difficult to handle. Certainly was for me when I first came here. Yeah, took a while to wrap my head around everything that I was seeing. So I get it. I do get it. But there is so much misconceptions at the moment around Russia, Russian people, life here, you know, with the 10 foot of snow, etc., and just general attitude. So definitely want to cover that, misconceptions, and a few other things. So let's say hello to a couple of peeps. AJF, hello, hi. Bill, good afternoon, Chris. Hope all is well. Nice to see you, mate. Hope all is well with you. Everything's good here. Making plans for the new house. Yeah, said before we're selling this house, but we've found another house that we want. We've put a deposit on it. So lots to see there, lots coming over the next few months, I'm sure. But we'll get into that. AJF, hi, Houston, Texas. Plan on moving to Russia soon. AJF, join my Telegram channel. If you plan to move to Russia, or if you're just curious about stuff in Russia, join my Telegram channel, The Plastic Russian on Telegram. There's two channels. There's the Plastic Russian channel, and then there's a chat group as well. It's so useful as a resource. It's not, 5,000 posts a day that you just can't keep up with. It is just very, very straightforward. Ask a question, get an answer, and a sensible answer at that. But also, some just random stuff, pictures from around Russia, the odd video, etc., etc. So just a really, really useful thing if you want to come to Russia. There's some really good people in there, some very, very clever people in there, both Russians and from around the world. So join my Telegram. I really recommend it if you're looking to move to Russia. So let's get into it. So I got interviewed for a Russian TV program a couple of weeks ago now, and they've just been sort of not chasing me up, but just following up today with some requests for some video, because I spoke on the interview about when I first came to Russia, and just how much of a shock it was. Just blew my mind. So they've just sort of asked, have you got any videos from when you first came? And to be honest, I thought, oh no, I probably haven't. I've deleted them all. And then I realised that that's since YouTube. So basically, I'll do a video, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll delete it off my phone. No reason other than storage space. If I keep every video that I upload to YouTube on my phone, I won't be able to video. So that's why I do it. And equally, the video is there on YouTube for all to see. So I don't need it on my phone. If I need to show it to anyone or anyone's curious, I can just direct them to YouTube. So that's why I do it. And of course, I'd probably thought that I'd done that for all the 2021 videos as well, which I haven't. But all of my videos that I did in 2021 weren't with any intention of YouTube. They were just, me pointing the phone out the window. If you join my Telegram channel, you'll see, disclaimer here, I was not a videographer, much like today, but a lot worse back then. So don't expect high quality. What you will see if you do join the chat group on Telegram is some very random short videos of the countryside, of the sea, the beach, the Russian pub, the first Russian pub that I went into. Just random stuff that a foreigner does when you come to Russia for the first time and go, this isn't what I was expecting, and you just point the camera. Most of it hasn't got any commentary at all. And I didn't really think about it at the time, but looking back now, it's because I didn't know what to say. It was just too much of a shock. Everything was so different from what I'd expected. So just too much of a shock. So I'm going to be loading those up over the next few weeks, I suppose, the odd one here and there. So I don't want to just drown the chat with stupid 30-second videos. But it will, give you an idea of when you first land in Russia. Mind blown. So like I say, I was interviewed for this TV program. It's called Anti-Fake. So hopefully that'll be broadcast soon, and if it is, I'll put a link in the Telegram group. And it just made me review, like I say, all of these early videos. So that's kind of cool, really. It was good to sort of look back and realise just how much of a shock Russia is when you come here, because I'm used to it now. I've got used to it. I live here, obviously, and the stuff you take for granted. I walk on the beach. I don't look at the sand anymore. I don't look at the millions of seashells in the sand. There's no stones. It's just full of seashells. But I don't even look at them now. But when I first came here, I was like, I come from the southeast of the UK, and our beaches are just pebbles, big pebbles. And when the tide eventually goes out far enough, certain times of the year, there's a bit of sand. Not a great deal, but it's pretty much all pebbles. Whereas here, it's just sand. We've got sort of little sand dunes, and the beach is amazing. So coming to that and seeing that for the first time, a beach covered with millions of seashells, was an experience. But like I say, it's just one of the many, many things that you just get used to, and it becomes normal. So that was that. That's why you're going to see some random videos popping up on Telegram group. Please join the Telegram. I'm going to bang on about that because it is a useful resource. Cool Pot, nice to see you. Been a while. Maybe out of topic, but I'd be interested in your view on the EU wanting to prolong the war. Is the US genuine about wanting to end it, and what do you think? I think the US certainly the current administration, maybe not all of the US, maybe not all of the government, but certainly the current administration is serious about normalizing relationships. Because, as I've said a million times, Trump's a businessman, and it just makes good business sense. So, just on that level, forget all of the hype and the nonsense and the drama. But just on that level, yes, because it makes business sense, and Trump is all about money, and America needs it because what, $36 trillion in debt now. Something's got to be done, hasn't it? You know, and Trump understands that. So it's all about business. It's not anything else. You know, you can protest it's about wanting to end the killing and blah 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 as much as you like, but ultimately, if that were true, you wouldn't carry on doing what you're doing. You know, Trump had an option when he got into the government to just pull the plug, and had he been genuine about wanting to end the killing, that's exactly what he would have done, because that's the fastest way to end the killing. That's the quickest way to stop this conflict, is for the US to pull its intelligence, its money, its weapons, its resources, just go, no, we're done. This was Biden's war. I want nothing to do with it. I want to end the killing. Bang, pull out. Negotiate with Russia beyond that, with trade and with everything else, but pulling out. If the Europeans want to carry on, that's a separate issue. But if Trump was serious about ending the killing, that's what he would have done. So it's got nothing to do with that. That's just a buzzword, in my view. It is all about the money, and hence, you know, negotiations. Why would you need to negotiate if you just want to end the killing? So it's just all about, you know, trying to leverage a position that he hasn't got, and he'll come to the realization of that at some point. But it's about trying to gain a position to generate some income in one way, shape, or form. And as for the EU, just a lot of talk, a lot of hot air. You know, dangerous hot air, to be fair, but it's not based in reality. So it's dangerous from a perspective of when leaders of countries talk the way they are. That's dangerous. You know, it's not the average Joe Schmo like me giving my opinion. These people are making very, very strong political statements, and as leaders of countries, that's dangerous. You know, they're writing checks for you and I, and I don't mean for us to pay them at the bank. I mean, you know, on the global stage, they are saying Britain is this, and we will do, and there's we. I didn't vote for it. Did anybody else? Did anybody else get a chance to vote for it? No. So yeah, the EU, as Conor McGregor would say, you'll do nothing, because that's it. That's the reality. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, and that's fine. But they're all people in the West that haven't been to Russia, got no idea what Russia is about, just believe what they read in the news. I'm in the fortunate position to be here, so I think I can speak with far more authority than most people in the West, because they haven't a clue what Russia's about. So yeah, somebody was talking to me about a European army, and just briefly, it's a non-starter. It's never going to happen. There's no money for it, and just from a logistics perspective, forget everything else, but just on logistics alone, it cannot be done. If you go on a driving holiday, I'm going off topic here a bit, but bear with. If you go on a driving holiday, like I've done many, there's one thing that you start when you're planning your holiday. One thing: petrol stations. That's it. That's the first thing you start with, because that's the most important thing. I mean, ultimately, you can sleep in your car, so it's not hotels. That will come into it. It's not food, because that's everywhere. There's always somewhere selling food, but not with petrol stations. And especially when I went up around Scotland, once you got a bit further out from the beaten track, you had to think about that. And if you're driving a gas guzzler, as I was, you really have to think about that, and you have to plan it. So you plan around your fuel stations. So just that alone, think of the logistics of trying to mass 30 odd countries 30 odd armies, and just the logistics. Forget the bullets. What do soldiers need? Boots, bootlaces, underwear, trousers, jackets, host of equipment, repairs, transportation of equipment. What are they going to do? Just go to the Russian border for 10 months, set up loads and loads of depots and bases, fill them with everything, and then don't forget soldiers need feeding, so mess halls, everything else is all going to be set up on the Russian border, and Russia's just going to sit there and stare at them, wait for them to, yep, we're ready, and then we'll go and fight, yeah? It's delusion. It's absolute delusion. They have no clue. These European leaders are absolutely clueless. They have no understanding of modern warfare and what it involves, and the logistics are absolutely the paramount thing, and they have no logistics. Simple as that. They're trying to build a logistics hub in Romania. Great. People say that they can come through Poland. Good luck with that. Yeah, the Polish have already said, yeah, we're not sending troops to Ukraine. Why? Well, because they've already sent a load in stealth and they've all been killed. So not really a good plan. They've already sussed that's not going to work, and they don't want any part of it. Second reason they don't want any part of it is the US's position at the moment. So if Poland says, yeah, come on, Europe, you can come through here and we'll base you. First, Poland becomes a target. Second, the US goes, we're having nothing to do with this, bearing in mind that the largest base is US. And the US will go, fine, you want to do that? We're out. And they'll pull their troops. And Poland doesn't want that, because Poland realises that the EU is full of hot air. So they need the US. So it's just not going to happen. So it'll go through Romania. Everything's going to go through Romania. Don't know. It's a bit like putting a load of flags up and waving at them and saying, this is where we are. This is where we're coming from. And this is when we're coming. Oh, okay. And Russia, obviously, you know, they haven't got a clue, have they? So they just sit there and go, okay, we'll wait. It's just delusion. It's absolute delusion. You know, it's laughable. But unfortunately, that's peddled to everybody in the West, all the civilians in the West. And I see it on a daily basis. People, you know, joining groups, commenting on my comments in social media and stuff, and going, blah, 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 blah. You're a Putin puppet. Blah, blah. They know nothing, and it's through fear. It's just through fear. You know, they're brainwashed into believing that, you know, this is going to happen, and their sons and daughters and everything are going to be sent to the front line, and it's just absolute delusion. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a rant then. Let's have a catch up. Otherwise, I'll get too far behind. I know I will. Hope that answered your question, Cool Pot, in a really long-winded way. Ben, what is Russia like as opposed to the UK? Dear. So I come from the southeast of the UK, so I can really comment on my location in the UK and my location in Russia. I am in the Russian equivalent. So I came from a seaside town in the UK. I'm now just outside a seaside town in Russia. And for me, I've got to say, this is always my perspective. Take it or leave it. It's entirely up to you. It's my YouTube channel. If you're not happy with what I like, make your own YouTube channel. Sorry, if you're not happy with what I say, make your own YouTube channel. But from my perspective, the only thing that I find worse here, if that's the right word, is the price of cars. For me, everything else is better. The food's better, the weather's better, the people are nicer. I have far more freedom here than I ever have in the UK. I know a lot of people struggle with that, but, you know, it's just fact. It's the safest place I have ever been, ever, full stop. And I've travelled extensively. I've said this many times as well. Yeah, Ben, it's just really that simple. Have a look at my channel. Check out some of the videos. That's the purpose of my videos, not for propaganda purposes or anything else, but just to show you Russia, or a part of Russia that you won't normally see, because most YouTubers end up in Moscow. So aside from Venkor down in Sochi, I don't really know of anybody else in this area in southern Russia. And bearing in mind, my region is, the region we're in is the size of the UK, or size of England. And that's just one region out of 90 odd. Um, yeah, it's a huge region, but that should give you an idea. It's such a big country, and in the West, you don't get to see it. You just see Moscow, you see Red Square, blah, 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 same old, same old, same old. Here's the Moscow Metro, here's Red Square. You know, you've all seen it 1,000 times. That's not Russia. Um, you know, I live in amongst vineyards. It's 23 degrees here today, swimming pool in the back garden. So, yeah, completely different. And that's the purpose of the channel, is just to show a side of Russia that 95% of people in the West haven't seen. So, have a look, Ben. Oh dear, Chris, I didn't bother to read that. It's probably an absolute load of rubbish. So, a question that I wouldn't even bother answering because it's just geared for a reaction. Hi from USA. Hi. Get a lot of people. Yeah, it's Ronnie Pickering, is it? Yeah, there's a big difference between me and Ronnie Pickering. Why do you live in fascist Russia? There, right, that's you gone. There we go. And gone. There we go. You always get them, trolls. And, you know, people say, it's freedom of speech and you should keep them. And if you're just deleting them, you're not achieving anything. I'm not going to give them a platform. They can have their 30 seconds of fame. But if they want to go and talk rubbish, have a discussion. I'll have a discussion with anyone. If you want to get some answers, and even if it's a heated discussion, I'm all for that. But if you're just going to come on and make stupid statements, I'll carry on deleting you all day. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'm retired. I've got all the time in the world. But yeah, go and make your own YouTube channel and you can go rah, 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 as much as you like. Thrash away at the keyboard. Andrew, hi. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Oshin, hello. Watching from Iran. Hi. I can almost wave at you now. Couldn't when I was in the UK. You were a distant, far off land, but now I'm in southern Russia. You're almost a neighbour. Oshin, no thanks, I'm fine. Okay. God's chosen toilet paper. Has he? Okay. Off of America's back. Crying for what? And see some more people getting banned soon. Do you have the men over there? Right. Let's just get rid of some muppets because I just want to have proper conversation with proper people. It's quite good just banning them. No logistics. Russia have logistics problems less than 100 miles from their own border. Have you ever served? Well, one, none of your business. And two, based on what? Based on your information that you've got from the BBC? Chris from HR. Tells me everything, doesn't it? HR. We all know what HR departments are set up for. Not set up for employees. HR departments are set up to protect the company that they're employed by. That's it, full stop. It's all under the guise of looking after employees and their personal well-being. That's all a load of bullshit. It is their HR departments are purely there to protect the company and lie, cheat, and connive. So if that's you, you're probably in the right job, mate. Good luck. 18% of farmland in how many? Oh, right. Chris, I'm sorry, I can't be bothered with you because you just come with absolutely nothing other than the mainstream narrative. So you're not going to come on here and make mainstream narrative statements. You can do that on your own channel. And gone. Batman, what country are you in? I'm in Russia, specifically southern Russia. Aussie, no, I'm a Brit. Old, very. Cool pot, you're welcome. Are you a Cockney geezer? My family are Cockneys, or were Cockneys. My family's dead, most of it. Bad sheep, bad brains, more like. And go. If he has freedom, he can also demonstrate the choice to not answer your question. See how free that was? Yeah. I mean, you have to remember that this is my lounge right now. So, like I say, if people want to come on and make just mainstream statements. You know, they've read the headlines in the Telegram. Look at Lithuania. God, I bet Russia's trembling. Yeah, Lithuania has said we will continue to isolate Russia. As I said in my Telegram group, what from? Idiots. Crack on. And now they can't afford to replace the manhole covers in the road. All the metal manhole covers, you know, that cover electric access points and stuff like that. We've all got them in every country, I guess. But obviously, Lithuanians were built by the Soviets, and they've got USSR on them. Well, they can't afford to replace them because they ain't got any money because they're bankrupt. So they've got a man going out with a grinder to grind off the USSR. That'll show Russia. Rah! That's what you're dealing with. These are the kind of people that you are dealing with, that you guys in the West are governed by. Absolute morons trying to make some kind of political statement to who? Because nobody's listening. Who cares? Do you think the Russian government cares that Lithuania has got a grinder out? They just laugh at that. Do you think that affects them? Do you think they sit there and go, oh my God, Lithuania is erasing our past. We'll all blow up and die. No, they're just sitting there going, yeah, just spend more money you haven't got, even if it's just on a man with a grinder. It's just pathetic. It really is. It is so pathetic. And once you're out of it, you see it. Not this guy again. Yeah, me again. But I could say, what are you doing in my live stream? If you don't want to be here. Getting that gym pump before work today. Good to see you. I used to go to the gym every single day. Twice a day. No, that's a lie. I used to drive past the gym twice a day. That was it. Oh, listen, mate. I'll get to that one in a minute. Standard replicant. Listen, mate. I'm just going to ahead and say I'm feeling some type of romantical connection with you. Well, good luck with that, pal. My wife's Russian. You can ban me. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for giving me permission to do that. God. Putin is a good man. I don't know him. The beast, I'm sorry, I don't know him. I've got no personal experience of Putin, so who knows? I can tell you that what he has done for Russia is truly staggering, truly remarkable. But apart from that, you know, if you believe what the West says, then he must be, as I've said before, 200 foot high, made of titanium, absolutely invincible, and able to teleport and go back in time. So, you know, I mean, that's the only way he can be responsible for all of the things that he's responsible for. So, there we go. Yeah, so the delusion in the West is very strong. Guys, please join my Telegram channel. I'll keep saying it, but please do it. Because even if you are so Russia-phobic, you know, you are absolutely, completely Russia-phobic, right? You have a chance to speak to somebody that lives here on a personal level and ask a question and get a response. So this isn't the media. This isn't press. This isn't, here's the headline, suck it up, that you have no recourse. You have the opportunity to ask a question and get an answer, and more than once. And you might not like the answer, you might not be happy with it, but at least you've got that opportunity. What opportunity do you have with the BBC or Sky News or the Telegraph or any of these others? You don't. You have no opportunity. You just are fed what they want to feed you and you absorb it. I don't know about you, but I like to actually get some independent views and be able to interact and ask questions about that. And aside from all of that, just look at what's behind me. Okay? Swimming pool, blue skies. So just that alone should trigger something in a lot of people's brains to go, that doesn't look like Russia. Not what I was expecting it to be. Anyhow, it's 23 degrees here today. It's very nice. Garden update I'm going to give you at some point. Pool is 16 degrees. Neighbours have got a dog visiting. Got to review the car. Telegram channel I've done. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to do less videos and more lives, just because I want to be able to interact with people and answer questions like I have done. Delete morons, you know, I don't need to react to them. But I am going to do a couple more videos. One is a reaction video to Sam's Russian adventures. He's done a few videos lately, and certainly one or two that have sort of struck a chord with me. And I thought the easiest way is to just do a reaction video. So I'm going to be doing that. But again, I will say, please like, share, and subscribe. Please, please share, because this is the only way now the channel grows. Shadow banning is real. In case you've heard the term and you're not sure what it is just purely. It's not actually a physical ban. It is purely not promoting the channel either. So it won't show in your feeds. You'll find, if you're a subscriber, you'll find that your notifications will change. You need to go back and check to see if you are getting notifications for when I go live or if I post a video. And if you're new to the channel, you probably will have just stumbled across it, because it won't be promoted. It won't be recommended to you. And that's the same for an awful lot of YouTubers in Russia. So the shadow banning is real. I'm part of a YouTube group here, like a Telegram group chat thing, and everybody's reporting the same thing. They're all saying their numbers are down. They're not seeing the traffic. For that reason, you know, the truth is scary, and people don't want to see the truth or hear the truth. So, you know, you're going to have to search around for it if you can be bothered. If you can't, you're part of the problem, I guess. Right, what else? Found a lovely Chinese restaurant, which is one less thing that I miss from the UK. That was one of the things that I missed, was a nice Chinese takeaway, and don't miss it anymore because we found one. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so new house update. So we put a deposit on a new house, not a new built house, but it's been built a while. And yeah, lots to do. No swimming pool, no sauna, no garage, sad. No block paving. Plenty of potential though. House is nice. House is really nice. Nice garden, or nice big garden anyway. And obviously lots of stuff for us to do. So so yeah, we're super happy, and obviously keep watching the channel, and as the weeks and months progress, you'll see that unfold. But yeah, we're really looking forward to that. But it's not happened yet, so you know, being the eternal pessimist, I'll believe it when it happens. Right, common misconceptions. Right, so common misconceptions about Russia. It's not safe. That's the first one, isn't it? Because the US, I think, still issue travel warnings. Don't travel to Russia, danger of death. Same with the UK, same with all of the EU. Oh, death, you will die, you will die. The minute you land in Russia, boom, you self-combust. Yes. Oh, we got a phone call in the middle of that then. Yeah, it's just crap. Go away, Sam. Live streaming. Yeah, it's just crap. It's just absolute lies. Safest place I've ever been, without a doubt. How many European countries can you walk around late at night, early hours in the morning, just walk through a park on your own? Don't know, is that something you can do? Do you have your kids hitchhiking? Don't know. Used to, didn't they? Can't do that anymore. Do here. Oh, how can they do that? Because it's a safe environment. That's how. Yeah, it's you know, the country has laws, despite the narrative from the West that it's a lawless society. That's again just more rubbish. Countries are laws, have laws, and yeah, if you fall foul of them, then yeah, you're gonna basically you're not going to stand in front of a judge and get a slap on the wrist and be told you're a very naughty boy. Yeah, you're actually going to suffer the penalties, which whatever they are, and and things like road rage, having fights, burglary, that kind of thing, penalties are severe, as they should be. So consequently, don't have it. What would you rather have? Would you rather have your softly approach to, a Friday night punch up, or would you rather have stiff penalties for that and not have it at all? Same with road rage. Would you rather have, it's road rage and personal space and, he's got feelings and all of that, or would you rather have stiff penalties for it so you don't have it? Same with burglary. Would you rather have stiff penalties that are enforced, or would you rather have some softly woke judge that goes, he was a victim of his childhood and he came from a broken home? Or would you rather have stiff penalties so you don't have it? So yeah, safest country I've ever been in, and far from a lawless society. That said, I've never felt so free, and that's, I genuinely mean that. I have never felt so free and safe as I do here in Russia. Russians hate us, as in Westerners. Again, that's the narrative that you get in the West. That's what you're told. Don't go to Russia, they hate you. Yeah, nah, that's not true either. I'm sure there are Russians, I can't speak for 156 million Russians. I wouldn't even attempt to. And I'm sure there are Russians that will certainly think like that. Because let's face it, every country will have a bad idea about another country at some point and its people, and just clump them together. It's kind of a Western thing. We tend to do that. Look at the current situation. But here in Russia, they understand that governments aren't people, and that governments make bad decisions. It doesn't mean that the people are bad. So they judge on how people are, treat as you want to be treated, and that's kind of the way it is. So, it's not automatic. If you come here with your Western ideas, where you think you're going to be Johnny Big Bollocks in this country, and go out on a Friday night like a football supporter, screaming and shouting and having a punch up, yeah, you're going to have a bad time. And if you come here with a Western attitude that you are something, with your chest, like I say, with your chest puffed out, ain't going to wash, because Russians won't stand for it. So, yeah, if you come here with an open mind and come here to live a good life, then you will live a good life without a shadow of a doubt. But if you come here thinking you're going to be some kind of top gangster, nah, that ain't happening. Davey, political class hate Russia, jealousy, I expect. Yeah, it goes back many years. Probably to the charge of the Light Brigade. It goes back a long time. It is the political elites, and that's what everybody's suffering for, because of the political elites. That's why all your bills are going up. That's why you're getting more and more draconian laws passed. Tits out for the boys. Yeah. Why not? Bill, how are you liking the new car? I need to do a review on it, mate. A few people have asked me about it. It is epic. I love the old one. It was a great car. But I suppose my niggle was the steering wheel, which was very plasticky. And the gearbox was sometimes lazy. And that's being picky. That's all I can fault it on. It drove beautifully, never missed a beat. It was excellent on fuel. Did everything you wanted it to do. I used it as a workhorse. I filled the thing up with concrete and all sorts of stuff, So it was a great car. But if I'm being absolutely picky and honest, which I think you should be, the gearbox was lazy sometimes. Especially if you went, if you stopped and you wanted to do a 3-point turn, you stuck it in reverse, and then you wanted to go forward, or vice versa. It would just never go from forward to reverse. It would always, you'd be sat in the middle of the road going, damn, because it's jumped into neutral, even though you've stuck it in reverse. And that's just the quirk of that gearbox. And, like I say, sometimes it would just be lazy. You'd go to pull out, and it would decide that it might be in the wrong gear, so it wouldn't do a great deal, and you'd have to wait for it, and you'd be like, oh, there's a truck coming. So yeah, that I suppose in the end was my bugbear. Whereas the H9 has got a ZF gearbox, so it's our gearbox should be lovely, absolutely lovely. But as for the car, wow, what a car! The equivalent Land Cruiser for the money, I would have got a 10-year-old Land Cruiser with 100,000 kilometers on it, minimum of 100,000 kilometers. That's probably a new car here most of the time. So for the money, you can always buy something better, of course. A brand new Land Cruiser, mind you, I don't know, would it be? Yeah, I suppose it would. Let's be honest, that brand new Land Cruiser would be better, but at 20 odd million rubles, no thanks. You'd want it to be a lot better, wouldn't you? And I don't think that there's 16 million rubles of difference between what I've got on the drive and a brand new Land Cruiser. So, yeah, I don't think it can be touched for the money. I think it's amazing value, absolutely amazing value. The amount of kit that it's got on it, the spec, yeah, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I hope that answers your question, Bill. It's fantastic car, really is. I don't think I've got a complaint or even a niggle. Nothing. I just love it. Full stop. It does everything and more. So yeah, love the thing. Cool pot. Sorry, I'm more worried about going to London for the Russian visa than going to Russia. Yep. Yep. Yeah, if you don't live in London, people that live in London, yeah, I guess that's what they're used to. But if you're outside of London, it's, as I say, England is a wonderful place if you're a tourist. It's very, very hard if you live there. And it's going to get tougher, I'm afraid, people. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But as a tourist, you'll love London, you'll love England. You'll go there and you'll see the sights, and you'll live the tourist life for 2 weeks, and you'll think England's wonderful. But that's not the reality that English people are faced with. We're faced with the day-to-day, the taxes, on everything. And you only notice that when you come to somewhere like Russia and you look back and go, oh my God. I was thinking about something today that's just like the TV license. Don't have that in Russia. So it's £170 a year that you pay for what? It's a tax, because you have no way of avoiding it. They've even included tablets and mobile phones and computers and anything and everything. The only way you have to avoid it is simply not to pay it. And there's a huge fear around the TV license. If you don't pay it, you'll go to prison and blah, blah, blah. But if enough people just didn't pay it, they can't enforce it. They'll try and make an example of 1 out of 10,000 people that they may be able to catch. But the UK relies on you admitting an offence. That's their whole premise of policing and law enforcement, is completely reliant on your admission of guilt. So the minute you don't admit guilt, they've got to prove it. And then you fall into all sorts of categories, especially with a TV license. So, first of all, they can't prove anything in your house without a warrant. So they can't come into your house unless you invite them, or they have a warrant. So by the time they get a warrant to come and search your premises for illegal devices, i.e. stuff that you can watch the BBC on, you'll have moved it. So, but they are reliant on fear and people being scared. But the TV license is just a tax. It's as simple as that, because you have no recourse. You can't turn around and say, I'll never watch the BBC. You literally have nothing. The answer is, if you've got a house or a flat, then you need to pay the TV license, because you must have a TV, or you must have a tablet, or you must have a phone, or you must have. It's just theft. And that's just one example. You go on to council tax. Like I say, when you come to Russia, you realise just the sheer theft. That's the only way I can put it. The sheer theft that Western governments steal and take from the citizens. They take your money, tell you it's for your own good, and line their pockets and their friends' pockets and their future job prospects' pockets. It's just theft. It's absolutely awful. Andrew, yeah, ta-da, mate. I'm sure I'll speak to you soon. And thank you. Have a wonderful day yourself. Cool pot. Yeah, you have to pay for propaganda. Couldn't make it up. Correct. Black chicken. English police are a joke, bruv. Cool pot. Now, trying to make it so that if you use Netflix, etc., you need a TV license. Yeah, as I say, I think the rule is if you have a device capable of receiving, what's the term? If you have a device capable of receiving terrestrial television, so that is your mobile phone, it's a tablet, it's a computer, it's a TV, it's a monitor, any of that. But, and I'm going to go back many, many years. A friend of mine, back in the day when the TV license came out, they used to, and this is where the fear started. This is how they get people to pay a TV license, through fear. So back in the day when the TV license was introduced, and people obviously worked out, well, how do you know I've got a TV? Because not everybody had a TV back then. They came out with the TV detector van, and you'd have this van that would park at the end of your street with this big aerial on the roof that would turn round and round and round, and a bloke would come and knock on your door saying, "TV detector. We are in the area. Our van is parked, and it has detected a television in this property." And 99% of the time, the people would go, "Oh, yeah, you haven't got a TV license." "Yeah, oh my God, they know. It's got nothing to do with it. They just had a list of people that hadn't got a TV license. So they just parked at the end of a road and went and knocked on the doors. Oh, you haven't got a TV license. That's right, I haven't got a TV. Oh, okay then. Next one, you haven't got a TV license. I haven't got a TV. Oh, okay then. Next one, you haven't got a TV license. Yeah. Oh, we know because we got our van at the bottom of the road. Do you know that van was empty? There was nothing in it. It's been proven. Don't believe me. Just go onto Google. Go and have a look. TV detector van was just a big panel of nothing, lights and switches. Remember, like the old Doctor Who sets, woo, 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 moving all switches, weren't connected to anything. Same thing. It was all a load of BS. It was just to scare people into believing they can tell. And it's the same fear that people still pay their license today. When you go and buy a TV now in the UK, you have to give name, address, and details of a TV. Why? So it can be sent to the government, so the government knows you've just bought a TV. So they can then send you a thing saying, you must, red letter, you must pay, you haven't bought your TV license, blah, 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 blah. That's all it is. So with everything, it must be proven unless you admit the guilt. And if you straight up do what, English society is based on, an admission of guilt, if you straight up admit that you haven't got a TV license and you have got a TV, they'll turn around to you and say, you need to pay for it right now. And you'll pay for it and that'll be it. You won't go to court. But if you say, I haven't got one, they've got to prove that you have. And that means gaining entry to your property. And that is only possible, one, with an invite, or two, with a court order or search warrant. So either way, that ain't happening on the day they knock on your door. So tell them to jog on, would be my advice if I lived in the UK, possibly. Shouldn't tell you to break the law, and I'm not. Make your own choices. But the point is, they have to prove it. So don't just admit. You have the right to remain silent. But don't admit you haven't got a TV, or you have got a TV, sorry. Let them prove that you've got a TV. And then suck it up. Mohor Biz was, if you crack a very nice joke now, I'll subscribe to your channel. Did I have a joke this morning? Oh yeah, here we go. Son says to Dad, Dad, every time I watch a Hollywood film, the aliens are always attacking America. Why is that? Dad says to son, they're trying to save the world, son. There you go. That's my dad joke for the day. Nikolai, nice to see you. Same problem in Russia. I have to pay for the elevator in my building, even though I always use the stairs to get to my 8th floor. Yeah, it's not really. I'll get what you're saying, but it's not the same. It's the same in the UK. it's not a tax, it's not a government tax, that's a building. You know, if you make a choice to live in an apartment that's got a lift, that lift needs to be serviced. It can't be discretionary. You know, it can't be, if there's 30 apartments, it can't be 20 people turning around saying, well, we don't use the lift, and 10 people having to pay it. You've made the choice to buy or live in a building that has a lift. So yeah, that lift requires maintenance, so you have to pay for it. Yeah. And that's the same with communal lighting. You can't turn around and say, well, I don't use the lights. You know, what do? Walk up the stairs blindfolded? You can't do that. It has to be paid for. So, you know, you have a choice. Don't live where there's a lift, and you won't have to pay for a lift. Sorry, I know it sounds pedantic, but I am hilarious. You're right, Mike. Blow me. Subscribed. Oh, Mike, you are a dick. And gone. There he goes. See, idiots. What else? Oh yeah, no food. There's no food in Russia. Remember. So speaking of remember, think of all the headlines you've seen in the last 3 years in Western media. Oh, there've been hundreds, haven't they? Hundreds. Now tell me how many have come true or have been true. I'm sure some people will go, something hasn't been disproven. Everything has been disproven. Every dramatic headline that has come out in the West has just been disproven, because it's all been a load of bullshit and fake news to try and keep you lot scared. Because if you're scared, you're malleable, you're compliant, and that's what they want. So yeah, one of the narratives, you know, the bank's running out of money. We had it all. We sat here in Russia and laughed at it, to be honest. But yeah, Russia's got no food. Russians are starving. The economy's collapsed. There's no food. Another misconception, complete bullshit. All the shops are full of every kind of produce you can think of, and mainly because it just grows in the garden. Let's go for a wander. Time for a garden update. So it stands to reason. Oh look, Scoob Steve has done his job. Need to get him out in a minute. He's there at the bottom. Look, he's had a little clean up. That's my robot Hoover. But it stands to reason that if you can just grow stuff, then it's food. You know, if you can just grow food, then it's kind of readily available, isn't it? And out here, you haven't got to try to grow food. It just does at the side of the road. So this is a peach tree, and just starting. So it's spring here. It's summer for me. Cherries, apricots apparently, probably more cherries, and then yeah, I don't know. Just you guys will know. But it's food, fruit, and cherries, walnuts. Two types of cherries. I have two varieties here. Don't ask me to remember what they are because I can't. But it just grows on the side of the road like weeds. Grapes grow like weeds. So the soil is very fertile. So Russia has no problem producing fresh fruit and vegetables. So the narrative about there is no food is absolute crap. When it comes to meat, same story. I think we've got, in our small village, we have at least 5 butcher shops where you can go and get fresh meat. We have countless bakeries where you can get fresh bread. So the narrative that there is no food is just that, a narrative. It's a Western produced media narrative. It's bullshit. It's lies. God, doesn't the pool look tempting though? Yeah, I know, you're right, it's not big enough. I agree. So at the new house, we're making a bigger one. Want to hear a dirty joke? Why not? What's the medical cost to live in Russia? P.S. Enjoying your post. Thank you, Lynn. Medical cost. So If you get temporary residence permit, TRP, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about that, then you get free medical with that. Me, I don't have temporary residency at the moment, and so I pay for my healthcare. And I've done a healthcare video. When I came to Russia, I had some health issues, which have all been cured here by Russian doctors, and I've paid for it. I've had to have lots of tests. Blood test is about £6. Results are the same day, in printed format or on a USB stick if you want it. Things like MRI scan. I had an MRI scan and a topography scan in the same day, and I had that the day after I booked it. So we rang up, say on a Tuesday, and I went and had the scans on a Wednesday. So that's the biggest thing. You pay, if you've got a concern, you pay happily to have that kind of treatment in the UK, wouldn't you? So yeah, you see a doctor the same day, and that cost was about £50 for both of those, MRI and a topography scan. Do love this thing. Absolutely fantastic car. Can I zoom out? No, I can't. So yeah, healthcare is pennies. It really is, compared to what we're used to in the West. Definitely need to clear up in here. So big center screen, your infotainment, but you've still got buttons for quick access on stuff. So your window defrost, your aircon. You've got the quick access buttons for that, obviously hazards, and then you've got four-wheel drive gearbox. You've got a mode button to select different driving modes, and then everything else is on touchscreen. You've got a simple display for the driver, which just shows you all your normal stuff: fuel, temperature, speed, revs, and then you can change various functions on that as well. And then the infotainment shows you all of the stuff, everything else that it's got. And this thing has just got so much kit. It really has. I'll do a proper review. I won't bore you with it now, but it is just epic. 7 seats. We've got heated seats front and rear. We've got air conditioned seats in the front. Roof vents, which are really nice for the rear passengers on both rows, on the 7-seat row as well. And they've got their own aircon controls as well, so they can have ice cold air blown on their face, independent from the driver, etc. But that's the tip of the iceberg. It's got hill descent, hill climb, radar guided cruise control. There's the 7 seats. Brilliant design. You pull the headrests up and just pull that tab. Just push them down into the floor. Big boot, as you can see, filthy dirty. And then just pull them back up. They do click down in place if I push them down hard enough, but I can't see the point. You get the idea. Yeah, brilliant car. Absolutely brilliant car. Very well made. He says, not shutting the back door properly. Lane departure in the mirrors, look. Yeah, brilliant car. Really, really love it. This is the black edition, special edition. So you get black mirrors, some other little niceties, nice black grille. Some of you are wondering why the grille ain't black, because I ain't changed it to black yet, that's why. As I said, it's a special edition. It's a TPR special edition. Oh, epic. You can hear it, but you can't see it, I'm afraid. Wow. Yeah, I never film them, but I love watching them. Got a very distinctive noise. They got a howl about them. This is our junkyard corner. case you're new to the channel. Yeah, sorry, Lynn. Hope that answers the question regarding medical. But yeah, it's peanuts. It really is absolute chicken feed. Insomnia Boy, nice house. Thank you. It's for sale. So this house, pool, huge garden, really. By UK standards, this is big garden. In fact, my old house in the UK, house, front garden, rear garden, the whole kit and caboodle, the property, if you like, would fit into our property about 9 times. Yeah, because you get a little postage stamp in the UK, don't you? And they do love a townhouse now, don't they, in the UK? Where your front door opens out onto the street and your back garden isn't a back garden, it's somewhere to park your bicycle. They do love that. But out here, they like gardens. So we've got quite a decent sized one. I'll show. And I've finished the fence now. So we've recently acquired this land, actually. So the fence line used to be here. Right the way across there. So if you look at some of my earlier videos, you'll see a fence here. And this was what's called free land. And we've recently got the final paperwork and bought it and paid for it. Which meant that we've been able to fence it. Or say we, I mean me. So I've fenced all of this in. And down the side there, we've got cat mesh on the bottom. I call it cat mesh, but it's just to allow ventilation, really. So trees like to have a bit of air movement, and the neighbours as well. Obviously, they have a right to have a bit of ventilation. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, probably off dropping presents. Yeah. Can you hear that howl? Very distinct noise. You have to go onto YouTube and see what makes that noise. So I won't show you. Yeah, so this house, I'm waffling, I digress. This house, currently for sale. 3 very, very large bedrooms. Ensuite. Obviously a swimming pool. We've got a sauna. Again, have a look on the channel. And we've got, that's our bedroom, balcony, and terrace here. This is 12 metres long, 4 metres wide. Gives you nice views of the hills around. Everything's starting to turn green now, so it's looking nice. So this house is currently for sale for about 21, 22 million, which in UK money is about 200 grand. So let's check on the swimming pool quick whilst I'm stood next to it. Oh yeah. So that's the pool room. Can open that sump now. That opened up. Yeah, sorry Insomnia Boy, thank you for the nice house comment. When can we move in? Lynn, you can move in immediately. That's the good thing about Russia, as opposed to the UK. None of this 3-month minimum bullshit. In Russia, you can move in the same day, because there is none of this, I'm going to call it tax, but in the UK we call them solicitors and estate agents. You do have estate agents here, but all they do is sell the house. As in, here's a house for sale, we'll make an appointment for you to go and look at it. That's pretty much their involvement. So yeah, you can move into a house in the same day. It's a very, very, very simple and straightforward process. Why is that? Because buying a house is like buying a car. It's a very, very simple and straightforward process. Unless people want to make money, in which case they make it complicated. Lawyers, solicitors, they have to justify their existence. So they lie and they cheat and they mislead, convince you that it's a difficult process and you've got to be really careful. But that's not the case. You just need to pay for it, don't you? And the old people need to move out and the new people need to move in. And that's what buying a house is about. So yeah, you can do that in a day in Russia. So yes, Lynn, when you can move in, you can move in. Probably ain't got enough time today because it's 2:30, but you can move in tomorrow if you want. It's going to cost you 21.5 million rubles, that is. What do you call a cat having loose motion? I get what you're saying. What? Where pussy? Oh dear. That's, yeah. Yeah. Fairly cheap. Yeah, try and buy this in the UK for 200 grand. Well, that's not fair. I can compare it to my area, which was in the southeast, in a seaside town. And I'll tell you now, it wouldn't cost 200 grand in there. You get a 1-bedroom flat for that. Bye, Lynn. Oh no. You've been out drinking Chevaks, blah blah, whatever. Martyrs. God, yeah. You've been out drinking, mate. Been on the beer. Is that why you feel sick? Oh, what a shame. Shouldn't do it, should you? Can't handle your booze, mate. Don't go drinking. Oh, what's that? US flag. Is that like supposed to intimidate me or something? Or what? What's the point you're making there? USA, USA. What point are you making? Use words, mate. It's easier. It's called communication. Anyhow, there we go. It's a little garden update. I've had a walk around. Let's get back to me. So, where was I? The economy. According to Western media, Russian economy has collapsed, is collapsing, or will collapse. No, and no. Good way to judge an economy is really how much construction is underway. Infrastructure, both in the private and public sector. And I can tell you, because I live here, I see it every day, that the economy is thriving. Because, there's another one. No, not going to look. Not going to look. The economy is thriving because there's stuff being built everywhere. Roads, commercial buildings, private residences. Oh, I do love that howl that they make. Ooh, very distinct noise. Have a look on YouTube and see what Russian aircraft howl. Oh yeah, there she is. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That might have shattered the narrative. Because Russia hasn't got any planes, remember? Just saying. Yeah, so the economy. There's food in all the shops. There's plenty of goods available. I recently went to a drone manufacturing plant. Have a look on my YouTube channel and have a look for that. And you'll see all sorts of drone equipment and parts for drones. So yeah, it's all, again, just another media narrative that's just bullshit. You know, the economy, as far as I can see, is thriving. And I haven't traveled extensively across Russia, but I was in Sochi a couple of weeks ago visiting a good friend of mine called Ven. Got a YouTube channel, Ven space Core, Ven Core. Not all one word, otherwise you'll get a different channel. And yeah, he's from the US, living in Russia. And like I say, lives in Sochi, and I went and visited him a couple of weeks ago. And Sochi's Looks to be thriving to me. Looked pretty good to me. Again, more videos on my channel from Sochi. Have a look. So yeah, another common misconception about Russia: the economy is collapsing. So yeah, no, it ain't. The weather. Now this is an easy one, isn't it? Because we're live. What do you think the weather's like? Just snow in Russia. Terrible. -50 all the time. Snow. Everyone's dressed like an Eskimo. Don't think I'm dressed like an Eskimo. I might be a bit hairy, but I'm quite happy with the weather, I've got to say. So I think that's another misconception, isn't it? Let's call that another crushed one, shall we? What else? Yeah, this is a good one. We love this one. You'll be sent to the front. So as a Westerner, if you come to Russia, and this is part of the government warnings that you get from the West, do not go to Russia, risk of death. You will be conscripted. You'll be sent to the front. That's what you're for. So this is a way of scaring you. Why do they want to scare you? Because they don't want you to come here. They don't want you to research Russia. They just want you to be scared of Russia and not want anything to do with it, like most people are. And that's why they come on and bash away with their fingers to try and tell me what Russia's like when they've never been here and I live here. Genius. Absolute genius. But yeah, that's what they do. They scare you. Why do they scare you? They don't want you to see the truth. Why don't they want you to see the truth? Because that then completely blows apart the narrative they've been spinning you for the last 3 years. Part of that narrative is that you will be conscripted and sent to the front to fight, and that you will die because Russia's wiped out and the neighbours next door are winning and everybody's dead. So let's dispel that myth. As a Westerner coming to Russia, you cannot join the military. You cannot be conscripted. There's a law against it. Now, I know it's going to shock some of you, but laws here are same as anywhere else. They're abided by, except probably a lot more stringently. It's another one. Christ. They must be doing a lot of deliveries today. Oh dear. Yeah. So, yeah, you can't be conscripted into the Russian army as a non-citizen. You only if you are a Russian citizen, could you be eligible to go into the army. Now, all Russian citizens, bearing in mind that if you come here as a foreigner, you're a long way away from getting citizenship. Trust me. But if you are a Russian citizen, then part of that is compulsory national service. You have to do 1 year in the armed forces. Now, that isn't like the neighbours next door. Go and do your 1 year and you're sent straight to the front lines. Here's a gun, point the ends that end, fire that way, good luck. There's none of that. And there is no current conscription. So there was a mobilisation in the early part of the last 3 years. And part of doing your military service is that you are contracted as a call-up reservist. So potentially, if the motherland needs you, you can be called up to serve. And that's what happened with the partial mobilisation. It was a call-up of some reservists. Since then, it has just been the regular Russian army, the DPR and is it the LPR? DPR and the LPR militia. I'm not fully up to date with it. And volunteers. So there is no conscription. Nobody's getting dragged off the streets. Another myth dispelled, hopefully. But I'm sure there's some people that just won't believe me. Hi from, that may be China. Forgive me if it's not. What do kangaroo meat taste like? No idea. Yeah, lawless society and no freedom, apparently. No, again, another myth. I can only say how I find. And for me, that couldn't be further from the truth. Like I say, safest place I've ever lived without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Safest place I've even visited. I've had 5 now interactions with the police. Something I'm proud of. I think 2 have just been spot checks, just checking documents. One was a spot check, which under the current situation and given that we're only 60 miles from Crimea, understandable. And the other one was when we bought the new car. It didn't have any number plates on it, which is normal in Russia. You have 10 days before you have to put number plates on. So we had no number plates for 10 days. And obviously, when the police see you with no number plates, they'll stop you to check that, it is a brand new car. You have just acquired it and you've got the appropriate documentation to show that you don't need a number plate. And there's another one. Boys are busy today. Busy, busy bees. Yeah, so 2 checks and then 3 when I've been an idiot. Twice in front of a police officer. Once I was driving on the wrong side of the road, which wasn't technically, I was actually off the road, but I did it in front of a police officer. And he came over and pointed out the error of my ways. Very politely. I will point that out very politely. But I definitely understood that that wasn't the right thing to do. And the other day, I did something stupid up the town that I shouldn't have done, but I did it in front of a police officer. And as soon as I did it, I thought, "You idiot! Why did you do that?" And he stopped me and said, "Why did you do that?" So yeah, again, I was an idiot. And then another time, again, I overtook a vehicle and I crossed a solid white line. So yeah, going to get stopped by the police. The police out here will use drones, so you can get stopped miles down the road. They may have a drone up in the sky with a camera watching the traffic, and yeah, if you do something you shouldn't have done, it might be caught by the drone, and then they'll stop you miles down the road. So there's none of this. You see a policeman 200 yards in front of you and slow down, or don't do anything because they might be miles down the road. So yeah, just obey the traffic rules really. Otherwise, you're going to get fined. Speeding fine, yeah. Wife's I came back from Sochi a couple of weeks ago and copped another speeding fine. Wife's not happy because it went straight to her Goslugi account, so she gets the fine. uh, bad fine, £10. She's not happy. Normally, I get fined about £2.50, £3, but this one was £10. So she wasn't happy about that. Yeah, so there we are. Hopefully, I've dispelled some myths because there's plenty misconceptions about Russia. But please join my Telegram channel. Ask away. Ask any questions. If you're going to come in and just talk a load of crap, then there's not really a lot of point. It's just going to get deleted, and it might make you feel better for 10 seconds. But ultimately, if that's what you've got to do to get high, you've got a sad life. But if you want to know about Russia, if you are questioning some of the things that you've been told, if you've seen a headline and you want to know, is this right? I mean, first thing, step back from the TV and just sort of, does it make sense? Does it sound right? But yeah, by all means, join my Telegram channel and ask about life in Russia. And I'll do my best to answer it. I won't lie to you. I won't give you any bullshit. It's not a propaganda channel. It's just, it's a Brit living in southern Russia, enjoying the weather. Probably gonna maybe have a go in the swimming pool. Not sure. Maybe. But yeah, I'll do my best to answer it. So please like, share, and subscribe. Sharing is the most important thing with the channel now because, like I say, YouTube just shadow bans and destroys it. And yeah, just watch out for more lives. I'll pop on and do a live at random sorts of time of the day. And yeah, in the meantime, thanks for watching. Christ, there's another one. There's a lot going on today. Anyhow, thanks for watching. And as I say, if you're curious about Russia or you've got anything that you want to know, join the Telegram group and ask away. The Plastic Russian on Telegram. Till then, I'll see you in the next one.